breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, it is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I'm your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you today. I missed yesterday's show. I don't plan on missing shows like that. I had a really good reason, though, and that's what I'm going to talk about here. I decided that today I want to do a kind of a short monologue before we get into today's highlighted stories. And the reason why I missed yesterday is because I'm finally out of unemployment. So essentially, since I got my MEng in May of 2025 last year, I've essentially just been living in the basement at home. I've been applying to Y Combinator. I've been applying to A16Z Speedrun, Pair X VC. I really like the startup scene. I really like the guys at Y Combinator, the general partners, everybody. And my plan for the past 6 months, as I'm saying, is that I wanted to move back to San Francisco ultimately. And what I was doing was, as you know, Y Combinator has 4 cycles now, 4 batches every year. And I was doing something interesting. I was making multiple accounts, multiple like founder profiles every batch. And I was applying with like 4 or 5 different ideas, right? Because I learned that you really don't want to start working on a product until you get any sort of pull, whether it's from like the market with customers who are, putting cash in hand, or if it's a startup accelerator like Y Combinator who accepts you, right? So I wasn't going to do anything until like, as in write any code until I got any sort of signal. Aside from what I've already done, which is by AI, which is just something that I've wanted to do for years. That's why I really wanted to do it. It just makes sense to me. Just basically getting recommendations from AI. Like who's gonna know how to trade better than AI? Literally nobody. So yeah. So aside from Byte AI, I hadn't been coding and Secretary AI, but I'll get to that in a second. But the reality is though, I got rejected from every batch after the batch I had gotten into in W24. And it's like, you don't get struck by lightning twice. I get that. It's very uncommon to get into Y Combinator. It's like saying like, oh, get into Harvard like 10 times in a row. Like, I mean, not ever. I mean, even the guy who goes to Harvard or MIT or whatever is gonna, if you did like a Monte Carlo simulation, or if you simulated them applying, like there are gonna be times where they don't get in, right? And it's like, and rejection doesn't bother me because I'm a guy, and it's like that's kind of like in the job description to be a man. Yeah, I mean, it's just like you kind of have to be like a brick wall, right? It's just like boom, it's just like things just like bounce off your chest, which is how it is, right? That's why I kept applying. Most people just kind of crash out on X. They're like, oh my god, I hate YC, like whatever. And it's like it's the opposite for me. I love YC, like even now, like what I mean, even after having not like gotten in multiple times, it's like whatever. Like I think Gary Tans puts it like this. He posts this like Adventure Time meme, and it says like the caption is not getting into YC is just a step in furtherance of getting into YC or something like that. So it's like I get how to play the game. It's fine. It's like the thing is though, I can't live in the basement forever with no income. That's kind of, and I'm 25, so it's like, and I'm also a very pragmatic person, so I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I want a pony and I want to go like, live in the Arctic or like live in the mountains and like tend to goats. Like I'm like, I'll follow the facts as I see it, which is I always strive for correctness, always. And it's like, I'll always go with the facts and I'll go with the reality of stuff, even if it's to my own detriment, right? I'll go with the reality because that's how much I value like truth. And so it's like, so I'm still like, I still love YC and I still love like just like startups in general, and I'm gonna keep by AI. But after 6 months, I realized like I gotta do something about my career because I can't be a loser and just like stay at home with my parents with no income and just like, you know, live like that until I'm 30, right? So I was like, okay, so I started applying to like software engineering positions. And eventually I got to a point recently where I got heavy interest from two Apple locations. One was in sort of Results Way. That's where I used to intern at. It's like for Apple Maps. I only go into that much detail just to say that it's not Apple Park. It's not the big spaceship, right? Headquarters, which is all right. They're like shuttles that like take you to and fro. It's like whatever. So yeah, so I had one location that wasn't Apple Park in Cupertino that was kind of like interested. And I was in late stage interviews for. And then I also had San Diego. It was like a quality of service job, like software engineering job. It was pretty cool actually, and high pay and everything. Um, so I was pretty hyped about that. Big tech, whatever. I also had this remote position from like kind of a no name company. That was kind of super interested and in late stage talks with me. Um, And what stuck out for me was that was like remote, right? Um, and eventually I got to a point, and this is kind of tying into like yesterday, right? Why I missed the show. I actually got an offer yesterday from that remote company, and I'm gonna sign today. And and it's like, here's the thing, right? And here's kind of the takeaway from whoever's listening to this. From what I understand, again, not off the followers, I can see from the suggested friends, a lot of people are listening from what I understand. Also the view count, it's like 300, 400 per person. It doesn't show everybody else that, but it's like whatever. But it's like to the audience, right? And YouTube's audience is pretty high, by the way. It's like 20K views in the past like 3 months. So I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, but to the audience, it's like, what is the takeaway? It's like, you have to care about money. You have to care about money. You have to chase that fucking money. Okay? Because at the end of the day, like, you're the only one looking out for you. A lot of people, especially like 2020 to like even earlier than like 2018 to like 2024, like there was a lot of, I mean, let's just say it how it is. Like, there is just a lot of like liberalism, just like just care about the collective. Like, go get your COVID vaccine. It's like, just go, like, shut the fuck up. And it's like, go and like, join a frat and like, as a man, just like emasculate yourself, right? And just like get on your knees and put the shackles of societal norms on like what you're expected to do, which is like be altruistic and all that, and just make sure not to look out for your best interest, and just put those shackles of societal norms on your hands and just like, keep your head down and just be on your knees. Like that's not manly. Like that's not like, that goes against like, my inner spirit, right? It's like, yeah, like I'll kind of like, dance when I need to, you know what I mean? It's like, I know how to do everything, and I do it really well because I had to, right? I know how to like, play the tune of, dance to the tune of societal norms because I moved schools around so quick. I guess my parents just like, as a kid, when I was a kid, my parents just, I guess like moved houses a lot for whatever reason. So it's like I moved schools quite a bit. And it's like I had to learn how to like enter a new environment and like make friends really quickly. So I've always been extremely sharp and like socially calibrated, right? And I've been able to make friends really, really quickly. It also comes from like just being just naturally enthusiastic. Um, I don't know. I just hate boredom. So it's like, yeah, I mean, let's spice life up a little bit, right? And it's like, but yeah, so it kind of goes against like my inner spirit, right? To kind of go along with just, this like agenda that's like coming on us, right? Since like 2014, I would even say, to like 2024, for like a good 2 decades, like 1 decade, but like, even more than that, 2 decades. It's like heavy pressure on the individual to like not be individualistic and like, enter groupthink, right? And so I'm here to kind of shatter all of that because, in 2025, that's when the social media landscape really started changing. And it's like shows like this could start existing, right? Just kind of in the mainstream on X and everything and on YouTube. And it's like kind of tying it back to the point. It's like people tell you, like, oh, like, you need to live with a bunch of friends and you have to live in a big city and everything. Like, living in a big city is really fun, by the way. But it's like you have to live in a big city and you have to, like, go out every week and you have to, fucking play poker. Like, I don't even care. Like, it's like, oh my God, everyone's playing poker at MIT. There's a huge poker club. And it's like the day of my graduation, it's like all the women are talking around, are kind of looking at the guys, looking over at us. I'm with a couple of my buddies. And then it's like everybody else, all like the, frat guys are all playing poker. It's like, dude, talk with the women, right? It's like, and it's like, I just happen not to be like that great friends with those particular women. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to hang out with my buddy over here. But it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you just like doing the equivalent of having your dick in your head, right? Your metaphysical dick in your head while like, people are trying to hang out and have fun. You know what I mean? Like, I just hate poker so much. It's like, fuck you if you like poker. Right. And it's like, anyways, and it's like these people that tell you like, oh, you have to go to New York City and then you have to like live with friends and you have to, just like, pay all this rent and stuff. And it's like, and then I kind of like crunch the numbers, right? Because I was serious about Apple. And it's like, oh, another thing is like, you have to work for a big name brand company, right? Otherwise, you're not cool. See, if you don't work for big tech, you're not cool, right? Or if you don't work for Jane Street or fucking, HRT or Two Sigma or like Google or whatever, like, honestly, if you're doing that, great. That, more power to you, right? But it's like, it's like the pressure you get, like suddenly if you're not doing that, you're not cool. Like, that's the idea I'm going for. It's like, no, it's like, you know what? I decided to stay home, save the rent money, save the cash. I'm signing the remote offer today. And at first I was like, what will my friends think? Right? I was like, well, living at home, like that's so taboo. And then I was like, shit, I'm saving a lot of rent money and like car money, right? Because I need to have a car in San Diego. And it's like I'm saving like a lot of food money, right? It's like whatever. And then I thought, like, I don't actually care what everybody thinks. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna sit down and like, just gather leverage, right? Just in life. And I had this epiphany a few years ago. It was like, and it started hitting me more recently. Like, you can just do whatever you want. You can just do whatever the hell you want. And it's like, you don't have to conform to these ideas of like, oh, you have to work at Jane Street, live with a bunch of friends, fucking jerk each other off every Friday. Like, it's like, no, you don't have to do that. You can stay home and just save money, bitch. Okay? Like, that is an option available to you. You don't have to move out at 18. And I'm not dying to stay at home. That's why I refer to it as the basement. It's actually just a spare room. It's fine. But it's like, I'm not itching to stay home. Like, if I hadn't gotten that remote offer, I would have gone to San Diego because I have to, at the end of the day, like, make some money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to prefer staying home and being unemployed to moving to San Diego and working for Apple. But it's like, if it's between a remote job where I save more versus Apple, but all of these expenses every month and I don't really make any money, then I'm not going to choose Apple. I'm sorry. I'm not going to choose the New York City HRT, just hanging out with all of my, like, some of these guys in New York that are, oh my, you look at their Instagram, they're so good friends with these women. It's like, dude, it's like you are gay. Like, it's not like, not literally, but like, you are gay. That is what you're showing me. It's like, it's fine, but like, I don't want to live like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay. And it's like the other thing too, like about just talking about women, like as a guy, right? It's like the other thing is like people look down on you if you don't have a stable monogamous girlfriend. It's like these women look down on you. So like you know oh, he doesn't have a girlfriend. Oh man, like what's going on, right? It's like and there's like pressure against having a roster or whatever, right? And it's like no, right? If you're a guy, you need to have 10 stable monogamous girlfriends, okay? Like not literally stable monogamous, but like this kind of tongue in cheek, but like you need to have that roster, right? Nobody can fucking stop you. Nobody. It's like, oh, what are people are gonna poo-poo you and be like, oh, he doesn't have a girlfriend. Who fucking cares, bro? Just like go out there and just go forth. You know what I mean? It's like I love who loves me. And you know what? There are a lot of people who love me. I hate to break it to you people. Like, I'm sorry. I hate to break it to the women listening to this podcast. It's like they're like it's just like when you get this much love, it's like why would I have a stable monogamous girlfriend? It's like why? And the answer is there is no reason to, right? Unless you're a bitch, unless you decide that you want to conform and be like, I'm sorry, unless you want to get on your knees as a guy, put the shackles on, hang your head down and be like, I'm just gonna accept life. And it's like that's not how I see life. Like I grab life by the balls. That has always been me, always. Okay. And it's like just ask my rowing friends from high school. And it's like it's not even just about like as a guy, like how you look at kind of, the just like dating, right? It also has to do with, your like just in terms of leverage versus societal norms. You have to be lean, okay? You have to minimize your body fat percentage. Like the best place to be is between 9 and like 12% if you're a guy. It's a little higher if you're a gal and it looks fine. Like I think it's like 18 to 21 or something. But like percent body fat. But 9 and 12 if you're a guy, percentage body fat. You don't and the thing is like you want to check every morning, right? So I have a scale that tells me like my percent body fat. Like, they say it's not like, oh, super accurate. No, it's accurate enough. Like you just do that every morning, make it a habit. So be lean, right? Like you've already beaten like 95% of the other guys if you're just looking good, lean, make sure you don't eat sugar. Sugar is bad for you, okay? Don't drink alcohol. Don't do drugs ever, okay? Don't be a fucking loser. Do not ever do drugs. Don't get involved in alcohol. There's no reason to. You don't have to have alcohol to have a good time, okay? Like, I mean that. Okay? Don't be up past 9 p.m. Only losers are up past 9 a.m. If you're up at like 2 a.m., like, look, dude, I did MIT with a great GPA. I did Y Combinator. I was never up past 9 p.m. I can count on one hand how many times I was up past 9 or 10 p.m. Okay. These fucking copers are out here saying like, oh, I can't get my P sets done unless I'm up until 5. Yeah, I'm here to break it to you, bitch. Yeah, you fucking can. And I wasn't doing political science at MIT or gender studies. Or psychology. I was doing computer science. Okay. That's the most hard as fuck thing you can do at any college. Okay. So it's like, I wasn't up at 2 a.m. I got all my P sets done and I passed everything with flying colors. I even got a fucking MEng, bro. I even got the Masters of Engineering. Okay, I don't flex that like all the time. Okay, I don't like flexing it, but I'm making the point of like, hey, don't stay up. It's for losers. You have to be a winner. And by the way, when you're in college, do not join a frat. They're there to emasculate you, okay? And it's like there's no benefit to it. Like at first I was like, oh, I get to, it's an easy way to meet more women, right? And it's like, no, you can meet women on your own through apps, through like, nightlife, clubs, whatever, like, other friends. You can go, like, I'm friends with a lot of frat guys, right? And they're great guys. And it's like I was always a friend of the frat, so to speak. But it's like you don't want to be a member of a frat. There's so many downsides to it on the real. Like you have like because the idea is like becoming a man, you know, starting out as a boy and like becoming a man, you kind of like the biggest thing to realize is like you have to like just not care. You have to just not care. The only thing you should care about is yourself. And like I said, that's the low body fat percentage. That's the not doing degenerate behaviors, right? That's the having high academic excellence, doing a sport, right? In high school, make sure to do it, right? Um, so it's like when you're in there, you have to do all these crazy things like Secret Santa or whatever. Like, just as an example, like, who cares? Like, I don't care about any of you, right? If I'm in a frat and it's like, oh, like, if I don't go to, Target in like 10-degree weather and get some like random crap to like give some other brother that I don't even fucking care about. It's like I care about my friends, but my point is like the frat brothers aren't your friends, really. It's all Astros turf, right? And it's like, wow, I got you like a fucking what, thing you hang on your car or something, like whatever. Like, it's like, why? And it's like you spend up to like 3 a.m., 5 a.m. even. I was talking to one of my frat buddies about that. It's like, why? There's no reason to. And it's like you have to do all these. There's a weird like hierarchy in the frat. It's like, oh, well, if you didn't fucking drink the milk, like literally speaking, then it's like you're not cool. It's like, oh, if you said like something like, because I'm an improv guy, I like to keep it fun, right? If you said something fun, when you're trying to like stand on business, when there's like, new pledges or whatever, and then, dude, I got a text about that from one of the brothers. That's actually why I left the frat. I was like, he was like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Nah. No, I left the next day. I was like, I ain't having none of this, right? I saw that guy later, right? Just in the banana lounge. He looked at me, I looked at him, and he knew, like, oh, he fucking knew. Because it's like, I'm not about to take that. No, never. Anyways, and it's like frats are like silos though, right? So it's like, I mean, I used to have a couple buddies that later joined a frat, and then I just never really heard from them ever again. In fact, I live in the same city as one of these people that I'm talking about, and it's like we don't even talk. I think I said happy birthday, and it's like, he said thanks or whatever. It's like, okay, like I just completely lost contact after he joined a frat. It's like it is a cult. People, like, do not join frats. Yeah, just focus on your GPA, hit the gym instead, do other things. Make sure to stay informed, right? Remember, knowledge is power, okay? So you can't allow yourself to be fooled. And it's like a lot of people have adversarial interests. You in order to win, you have to stay informed. Okay? Don't ever unplug like that. So that means keeping on top of news. And this show isn't a political show. It's about tech news for a reason, okay? But it's like, what do you guys think I do in my free time? I just sit and simmer my political opinions and read politics, okay? It's just the way it is, all right? I mean, how else? First of all, how else am I going to spend time when I'm in the basement? Other than, hanging out with friends and stuff. And it's like, but it's like, you have to form a world perspective, and it has to be the correct world perspective. And there is a correct one, right? I'm sorry to say that there just is. And I'm not going to come here and tell you what it is, but you have to find it for yourself. And you can only do it when you have this mindset of like, even if maybe some of the things I used to think about when I was 16 or whatever were wrong. It's like, this is now correct. Like, yeah, what I'm saying is you have to put the ego aside. You have to be willing to put the ego aside and be like, okay, like, what is the truth? Just, plain and simple. And you'll be able to figure that out if you have the right mindset. Okay. So have the correct political opinion. Um, Now going back to the women thing, and then we'll get into the news. Like, you shouldn't lie to women. So I was talking about like the roster thing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to be in a stable monogamous relationship with it. That's the worst thing you can do, by the way, because it's like, you spend 5 years of your young like man life, and it's like, you spent that all with one woman. Like, I'm sorry, it's just like, women think the same. Women are very ruthless, and I have to like tip the cap to that, to be honest. Women are very ruthless. They look out for themselves better than men look out for themselves today. It should be the opposite. It should be like men looking out for themselves, just gaining leverage and power, right? And just overall just sexual market value. Um, and instead, it's the women who are looking out for themselves. And that's why you have a lot of like incels and like beta males that are like, oh my God, why did she leave me? Oh no, I'm never gonna date again. No, 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 no. That is not the mindset to have. It's all about you. And she can choose to come into your world, right? In which case you'll be very welcoming and very generous and very gentlemanly, right? But it's like you do have to look out for yourself, first and foremost. And that part of that means not committing yourself to one woman just as a guy, right? Especially early on. Because you have to really, I mean, through volume, that's how you understand, right? Things just in general. That's why big tech knows so much about people and like, societal trends. It's because there's like billions of daily active users. And it's like, you can't, like, just human psychology just gets distilled down into just very predictable patterns and trends just amongst the usage, right? And like, people can see this through like product analytics and stuff at the top, right? I'm talking about like Zuckerberg and like, Sundar Pichai and all these guys, right? And it's like, you have to do that too. Like, you in the dating market, like, you have to, and this isn't really for women, because for women, it's a different game. Like, you have to find the best you can possibly find, um, with the smallest amount of volume, right? Right. And with globalization, it's really kind of empowered women in that game, and it's given the strategic leverage to women, and it's taken the leverage away from men, because suddenly a lot of the men that used to be sort of chosen by the women suddenly weren't. And due to globalization, suddenly it's the guy from Paris who's flying in, and it's the guy from like Sicily who's flying in, and sort of the women are choosing him, and then all the local boys, all the local men are suddenly no longer chosen, right? So you can see why globalization has kind of taken the leverage away from men, and kind of given it to the women, right? But my point is, like, as a man, you kind of have to regain that leverage, right? You kind of have to act like big tech and kind of run volume. You can't care what people think. You can't care what people are like. Oh, you don't have a girlfriend? It's like, okay, fuck you. Like, you're a loser. Like, get away from me. Never associate with me again. You fucking idiot. You know what I mean? And it's like, you just have to regain that leverage as a man. You have to be big tech, right? Just in your own world, right? And the thing is, like, women like that. Like, and what I and you're gonna have to understand the nuance of what I'm saying. Women are very emotionally intelligent, right? They can sense your aura. They can just smell your like what's going on in your head. They are very keen and sharp at understanding the mind of a man. and the mannerisms, okay? They understand your objectives, your mindset, your personality very quickly through very limited interaction, okay? I'll never forget, and I'm not making a comparison between homeless people and women here, okay? I'm just I'm going to tell you this example because it's an example of someone with zero inhibition speaking their mind. So I'll never forget when I was in San Francisco in 2022. I was just visiting because I was in Sacramento. A buddy of mine came by and we went to San Francisco together. Um, and this homeless guy from afar, okay, from like maybe 50 feet, 100 feet away. So he looks at me. We were at the Civic Center and we were just walking. And by the way, mind you, I looked like a douchebag. Okay, like I had a headband on. I was just, oh man, I was, and that was like my peak. And excuse me, that was not even. I'm a big fan of like every moment is your peak. Like every passing second is your peak. So I misspoke there. Like, but that was like the start of like this villain era where it's just like my success with women just became exponential in this particular moment, right? Um, this period of time, okay? It was like right before senior spring. Um, but it's like this homeless guy looks at me and he just yells, he goes, "You smell like pussy." And he goes, "Fuck you." And I realized that like people in general who are emotionally intelligent and can like be attuned like almost to the spiritual, right? Because there's a lot going on like different wavelengths that we can't see because like the eye can only see like a really like I'm not even religious, but it's like the eye, scientifically speaking, can only see a very narrow bandwidth of like uh wavelength of light. And it's like there's a lot more going on. Like you can't even see radio or ultraviolet, right? So there's a lot going around, right? Just in general, that relates a lot to like interpersonal relationships and everything, and just like interactions between people. And it's like there's a lot going on that you kind of can pick up on if you're attuned to it, right? Like through different senses. And if you're good at reading people, if you just know people in general, and if you're familiar with human psychology. But it's like here's this like clearly very well attuned homeless guy, and he's looking at me and he's kind of calling me out, right? This tends to happen to me. Like I was with I was with this girl I was seeing at the time, this woman over, and we visited St. Augustine together, which they have like an alligator zoo in Florida. And this like giant bird, just like he was just chilling. I think he was like some sort of ostrich kind of. He was just he was just hanging out, right? And I pulled up, kind of with her. Um, and it was like the bird suddenly kind of looked at me a little bit, and he got kind of agitated a little bit. I wasn't even doing anything. And he started flapping his wings, like looking right at me. Like he started like trying to assert his dominance right there. And it's like I tend to have that effect on like just in general, like that general aura or like vibe I put out, just even just while I'm just like idling, right? It's just like, and of course, like, when you have like a woman next to you, like a female companion, it's like, as a man, you always have this heightened sense of masculinity, right? And it's like that bird could really feel it, right? So what I'm trying to say is like, there is this, bandwidth, this perhaps spiritual bandwidth, this maybe you can call it extra dimensional, right? There's something going around that if you're attuned to, you can pick up on, right? And so that goes back to that homeless guy that did in fact pick up on that aura I was giving off. And it's like with women who are also very spiritually and sort of like attuned and emotionally attuned. Like, yes, they have more inhibition. They're not going to just be like, wow, you get a lot of women. Like, they're never going to reveal that leverage, right? But it's like, well, they kind of do, though. Like, without really saying it, right? They kind of understand that you're seeing other women and they're okay with it. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to, like, what I'm saying is, like, don't be a liar, don't be a cheater, right? But you also don't just have to, like, go out and say and be like, "Hey, by the way, I'm seeing 10 other people just like no, like women just like you." It's like, no, 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 you don't ever say that, okay? But it's like it has to be this mutual understanding without it having being said, okay? So I'm gonna end this off, and we're gonna jump into the news. But uh, basically, just to conclude, right? It's like you can never put yourself in a position of weaker leverage. You have to, especially like as a man, right? Even as a woman, like if you're a woman, you're looking for sort of the highest man you can find, right, on that sexual market value scale. But it's like, as a man, really, in order to be high up on there on that sexual market value scale, you have to just like be just a ruthless hunter, just like women are ruthless. You as well have to like get up off your knees, get your head up, chest high, right? Get rid of those chains that society is trying to put on you, right? Because society is against masculinity. And it's like you have to break free from all of that, just not care about anything, and then start caring about yourself only. Okay? And that means you have to be ruthlessly in pursuit of like higher leverage. You have to never put yourself in a position of weaker leverage, okay? So that means you want to start saving money. Money is everything, okay? If you don't have money, like like if you're not striving for money, because I'm broke right now, okay? That's kind of how where I'm at. But it's like by signing this remote offer where I have a greater opportunity to save more money, that is how I dig myself out of this hole. That is how I eventually get out of the basement and how I pay off my student loans. I have over 100K in student loans. Okay. It's just the way it is that I have to pay off. And then I'm going to start looking into like buying a house through like first time home buyer, low interest rate mortgage right now. Jerome Powell's out the door pretty much. And it's like the rates are going to keep going lower. I'm going to take advantage of this period where Trump's in office, low percentage rates. It's going to continue to keep going lower clearly. And it's like, I'm just going to, at the right time after I've paid off these student loans, I'm just going to get a fucking mortgage at a very low interest rate. And then I'm going to start investing into my future. Okay. But it's like, you need to have a mindset where you're in it for the money. Okay. You can't ever lose sight of that, ever. That's how you gain leverage. That's how you go up on that sexual market value scale. But forget the sexual market value scale. It's just in general, just like that's how you farm aura. Okay. And I'll just end with, you look out for yourself, and that's how you avoid getting an experimental genetic therapy injected into your arm in order to go to class. I fucking lied to them. I told them, I'm not a liar. I never lie. I made an exception here. I told them, I told the college that I was religious and I got out of it. You have to look out for yourself. Okay. I'm gonna see how this monologue does after clipping it up. I really like growing this channel. I have a lot of fun doing this. And I know like professional podcasters that cover news, they usually like sometimes do monologues. So I'll have to see how this does with like view count and stuff. But let's get into the normal sort of show here. The Dow Jones is down 0.17%. Today, the NASDAQ is down 0.06%. The S&P 500 is down 0.06%. The Bitcoin is down 2.93%, down to 90,303 now. Just changed there. Before we get into today's news, which we have some good news articles to get into, make sure to download Byte AI Market Analysis, which is my app. It's available on the App Store. It's a financial co-pilot that tells you when you should enter and exit the stock market, specifically with specific stocks, right? So your portfolio does it based off of the MACD/signal curve, Bollinger Bands, RSI. So math ways or technical indicators, really. So mathy ways to look at the stock market, as well as news sentiment. Um, and it uses AI to essentially think for you based on the things you need to be thinking about when you're trading stocks. And it's a day trading tool. Of course, it's not a financial advisor. And past success does not guarantee future results, but it's a great tool. I use it every morning. So make sure to use it by downloading it off the App Store today. Okay, let's get into our first story. OpenAI starts testing ads in ChatGPT. The company said on Friday that it would start serving ads in the free version of its chatbot over the next several weeks. So this is actually an interesting story to cover, just based on, and it ties really well into the opening monologue, right? Which is like money being kind of the North Star, if you will, and it just has to be, right? And I didn't have this pulled up, but I just thought of it really. OpenAI losing money. They're actually, I saw this X post yesterday. It's this one right here. OpenAI is rapidly losing money and is projected to lose $14 billion in 2026 alone. If they can't get another round of funding, OpenAI could run out of money as soon as 2027. So we were kind of talking about this last week. And it's like, this is going to start hitting the news cycle a little bit more. And of course, Sam Altman and everybody there has known about this for a while. That's why he always looks like he hasn't gotten more than 2 hours of sleep. And it's like, well, the problem is like, well, there's no problem. It's just like OpenAI has to kind of dig itself out of this hole, right? How's it going to do it? Well, it's going to start implementing ads. I think this is a really good thing, to be honest. You're going to read a lot of people that are like, oh my God, no, I'm going to stop. I'm going to cancel my subscription, whatever. No. Look at Netflix. Okay. Netflix was in a similar rut in 2022. So their revenue growth rate was slowing down significantly. A few years ago, about 4 years ago now, it was about 6 or 7% year over year, and it was kind of slowing down. And then they decided to implement ads very similarly to this. And there was a lot of mixed signal. There was a lot of hubbub. There's like, oh no, we can't do that. You can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to cancel our subscription. Do you know what happened after they implemented ads? They went from 6 or 7% year over year growth to 15 to 17% year over year growth. That is a major win. Okay. They reported higher revenues, Netflix did, each quarter in 2025 versus the same quarter in prior years. Like, if you are about to die, you need to pull out all of the stops. Like, you have to implement ads, you have to do everything, because the fact is OpenAI, ChatGPT still has the leverage even over Gemini, as much as, they're being pumped into the news and stuff. Google is and Gemini is. It's like all you see now. It's like, okay. But it's like OpenAI still has the upper hand, especially when it comes to daily or weekly active user count, right? They're at like 1.2 billion weekly active user count. And then Gemini is like at 600 million, 650. XAI, Grok is like around 600, right? So it's like, if you have this much traffic, like, are you dumb? Like, you needed to have implemented ads yesterday, right? So you need to go in all in, whole hog on this thing. And it's like, from what I understand, it's just for the free tier too. So it's like, it isn't even that deep. The San Francisco company said on Friday that over the next several weeks, it would begin testing ads in the free version on the online chatbot and a low-cost version called ChatGPT Go, which costs $8 a month. Okay. Yeah, so this is the exact same thing that Netflix did, and they basically won. Okay. An AI startup says it wants to empower workers, not replace them. Founded by researchers from Anthropic, Google, and XAI, the new company Humans and is already valued at $4.48 billion. You know, like, I get it. Like, the content of the article is just about how, I guess, a couple of these guys left big tech companies like XAI and stuff, and then they went out and they wanted to be altruistic about AI or whatever. It's like, okay, like, you are gonna, like, whether or not that's your intention, you are going to replace jobs because it's not up to you. That's what these people don't understand. It isn't up to you. It's up to the clients. It's up to the customers. Okay. And your customer in this case is the clinic owner. Okay. Or it's like the whoever business owner. It's not the front desk workers. And to protect the bottom line, the business owner and the clinic owner will lay off the front desk workers, whether we like it or not, whether that was our goal or not. And they will do it because at the end of the day, if they aren't going to make money off of AI, then there's no reason to get into AI. Okay. So I don't know who the New York Times is fooling with this article. And it's like, it's like, by the way, there are way too many people in this startup. It's like, you need to fire this guy, this gal. These guys can stay. It's like, you need to stay lean and mean as a startup. You know, like, as Paul Graham says, the great, of course, founder of Y Combinator. He gave a talk. He said, the dumbest thing that startups do is build out their team. That is the quickest way to die. Your startup will die if you just start building out the team. Dude, why are there 5 people here? You don't need all these people. Stay lean and mean, folks. All right. And you know what the other thing is? Just on this article, like, who wrote this? Cade Metz. Yeah. See, you can. Cade Metz has covered the artificial intelligence beat for more than 15 years. Dude, that puts you behind me. Like, you need to take that out of your bio right now. And it's like, I didn't even have to read that. I could tell from this paragraph right here, this short paragraph. They can even learn to write computer programs and solve math problems. It's like, dude, if you're calling them programs, it's just like the M dash. Like, if you see an M dash, okay, it's AI generated problem, most likely, right? And it's like, if you see the word computer program, you are an automatic boomer and you did it yourself. Just call it software development or software engineering like the rest of us. Call it coding. Okay, they can even learn to code. What does that even mean? They've been coding since November 2022, bitch. What do you mean they can even learn to write computer programs? Fine, get rid of the wording. They can even learn to code. They already know how to code. They learned how to code day one. Like, what are you talking about? Dude, these people are fucking stupid. And it's like, you trust these people with your health? Fuck no. Fuck you. No. OpenAI and ServiceNow strike deal to put AI agents in business software. The AI model maker and business software provider signed a 3-year pact that underscores how AI agents are increasingly being embedded in corporate software. I think they forgot a period here. Bill should be fired. I'm just kidding, but unless. But yeah, so it's like, I guess OpenAI and ServiceNow are signing a 3-year deal that integrates ChatGPT models with ServiceNow's business software. Great. Another one bites the dust. And I mean that in a good way. Like, we need to rip the Band-Aid off. The genie's out of the bottle, as I say, right? It's like, we're already there, folks. Like, you ain't going to stop nothing. Okay. ServiceNow engineers will build the AI agent products with OpenAI's technical guidance. ServiceNow also said that it will put its... why did they quote this? Forward deployed engineers, as if it's like not a real job or anything. It's like, okay, it's like deploying AI. Like, you don't have to quote it, all right? Like, we can all relax here. Well, ServiceNow also said it will put its forward deployed engineers to work in helping business customers actually use the AI capabilities. Yeah, man. Well, why haven't you already done this? You know what I mean? I have over 16,000 unread emails. Gmail's new AI wants to help. See, this is part of the thing. Like this, you know what it is, folks? I just figured it out. There's a fishy smell coming from this like over emphasis on like Google and how it's gonna overtake AI. Like, dude, I'm looking at the numbers, okay? Gemini still has roughly half of the weekly active user count as ChatGPT. Like, who are you fooling? And it's like, but nonetheless, all you hear about is like, oh, OpenAI declared a code red. And it's like, wow, ChatGPT's new Gmail integration, or I'm sorry, Google Gemini's new Gmail integration is gonna just like literally change everybody's lives. Dude, my secretary AI product, okay, that whole startup I was doing for the past like 6 months, I just shut it down the other day. The burn was too high. And I had 0 daily active users for 3 whole months. People don't care about this. I was doing door to door, I was doing cold emailing. People do not care about voice AI summarizing your email, okay? I don't know what it is. Like maybe there's a use case in like business to business, a niche use case, right? But it's not with direct to consumer. And this goes back to what I was saying on like Thursday and Friday with like DoorDash and everything. Like the Gen Zers who are doom scrolling with their girlfriends at 9 p.m. on Friday, they're gonna DoorDash because they need the fucking food. Bitch, I need the fucking food. I DoorDashed yesterday, okay? It's like that same customer profile is not going to be like, oh, Google just summarized my email. It's like, bitch, no. The people don't want it, okay? The consumers don't want it. There may be a niche business case. It's not the consumers, okay? So it's like, this is like the third article I've seen that's like, oh, wow, it's going to change my life. You know what I mean? Email isn't going away. But if AI can turn a 16,000 email disaster area into simple bulleted lists, I might finally make peace with my thousands of unreads. Dude, just look at April, okay? This is a Y Combinator backed startup. They're actually one of my competitors with Secretary AI. And it's like, I want you to go download them. You should download them off the App Store. I think they have about 326 followers. They're on X. They're backed by, one of my favorite YC general partners. And so you should actually go download them, right? Show them some love, okay? And tell them you sent me. I sent you. But it's like, and it's a great website, by the way. Like, I like to give credit where credit's due. But it's like, they haven't, and it's like not to, and this isn't a dig at these guys. I actually hope they win, and you should actually go download them. But it's like, they haven't posted anything on X since like, I guess the April account reposted something on October 11th. Okay, let's go by repost. Fine. October 11th. That's 3 months ago. Okay. They have 326 followers. Okay. It's like, I mean, that's cool. Like, and I'm sure all of them are real and everything, but it's like, does this activity tell you that customers are like, doing what, I forgot the name of the adult show, cartoon show, but it's like, are they doing the meme where it's like, shut up and take my money? Futurama. I think that's what it is. Shut up and take my money. Like, are they lining up and like waving their wallets, their, metaphysical wallets, and being like, oh my God, like I need, like, I'm only saying this because I had to shut down Secretary AI, which was literally this. Plus more, to be honest. It was like texting. It was making sure you never miss an email by like having that AI agent named Friday text you whenever you got like a critical email. It was that in addition. It was also like screening calls. You got like a phone number, and then you can put what kind of calls you want screened, like the calls that get transferred to me as a consumer, as a user. There's like bulleted things that you can write, like like a little text box is you can write like, oh, I don't want the like sales calls. I don't want updates on my Google Maps, right? I was trying to sell to like pet clinics. And then it's like things I do want to go through: family, customers, friends, put names, whatever, right? I was doing, and that was all in addition to AI scheduled calls that discuss your email, like human-like calls. Retail is great, by the way. Use Retail. Don't use anybody else when you're doing voice AI. And it's like, I had to shut that down because of a lack of interest. Okay, I'm not going to do something as a founder that nobody cares about. The YC motto is build something people want. It's not build something people don't want, okay? Like, I'm not going to sacrifice that burn, okay, which is quite a bit actually. And build something people don't want. So I just fucking shut it down. Like, no, I don't play, dude. I don't play. Like, I am a pro startup founder. I don't play. Okay. Do you know why I have Byte AI still? It's because there are daily active users and there's monthly recurring revenue. That is the only reason. Okay. I don't fuck around with shit that people don't care about. Now, that being said, I don't know a lot about April other than the fact that they were also in the same space. And again, and I mean this unironically and sincerely, you should download them. But it's like, why are these like fake ass articles showing up on the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and they're like, wow, I wonder if I could use AI to help me go through my email. It's like, bitch, I don't care about you. I care about the potential paying customers. By the way, there were zero of in Secretary AI, and there's probably a good amount for April, but it's like the only signal I can go off of is their X, which they haven't posted anything in 3 months. Dude, if I was getting lots of traction and growth with my startup, like with Secretary that I just shut down, like I would have been posting like nobody's business. Because it's like, if you're growing, like your MRR or your user count is growing, like you don't shut the fuck up. That's the last thing you do. You start making noise about it, bitch. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Maybe they don't have the same mindset as me, but it's like, it's the only thing I can go off of, right? That being said, I think while they were backed by YC, I think they were doing all right, right? I think they're doing okay. Make sure to go to them, right? But it's like, you kind of get my point. Why aren't these people kind of hyping up the startups that have been doing this, right? Okay, that's it for today. Let's go ahead and close out. Make sure to download Byte AI off the App Store, iOS App Store, so you can make more informed trades while doing financial trades on the stock market. Hope you have a great day, you guys. Make sure to make lots of money out there. Minimize any losses, if any. Hopefully none. No losses. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow, guys. Peace out.